Hello everyone. Now that we've showcased every style that got balance changes. What?
You forgot to make one about Hawk.
Oh yeah, Hawk. Since Hawk's change was not that big, I would just skip right into the tier list. As usual, I changed my opinion on some styles. So I am going to be re-ranking some of them. For this video I will only be talking about the styles that got balance changes: Ghost, Iron Fist, Hawk and Ippo. As for the others, I will be explaining why they are on that tier in their own respective videos. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's start with Ippo. Ippo after the balance changes is heavily different from what it was before. The balance changes it got was an M1 damage decrease, and a nerf in ultimate damage. These changes made Ippo less scary in terms of damage, but fortunately these nerfs did not make Ippo bad at all. Sure, Ippo lost his 65% damage ultimate, but if you think about it, if you relied on his ultimate damage, that would be a bad habit. If anything, I'm thankful to the developer for nerfing the damage. Because of this, people don't have a reason to complain about Ippo anymore. Because it is now pretty much balanced. His main weapon for me were always his dashes, so thank God they did not nerf that part of Ippo one bit. If I were to rate Ippo after these balance changes, I would rate it a solid A tier style. Next up is Iron Fist. Before this update, Ippo and Iron Fist pretty much worked the same, with both of them having high damage, a high damaging ultimate, and good dashes. Before, it would seem like Iron Fist is legitimately a better version of Ippo, which it was by the way. But now, they took the core similarity between them apart. Their dashes. Ippo kept his dashes, while Iron Fist got himself a brand new pair of doo-doo dashes. Which is fair, since Iron Fist is the highest damaging style in the game, surpassing the likes of Slugger in terms of raw damage. Giving it bad dashes should have been done at the start, because you don't want a moving nuclear bomb chasing you most of the time, right? After this nerf, Iron Fist had to rely on perfect dodges and timing to actually land those M2s, and defending using Iron Fist is a lot harder as well. Because of the 1-second dash cooldown he shares with Turtle. Ironically, Iron Fist right now is a better version of Turtle, instead of being a better version of Ippo. But both the Turtle style and the Iron Fist style work very differently. Turtle has more leg room in terms of mistakes because of his block, but that same logic does not apply to Iron Fist because of his below average block. So do keep that in mind when comparing these two styles together. If I were to rate the current Iron Fist, I would put it at A tier as well. The nerf did not change anything big about it, since what made Iron Fist so good was always his damage. And this balance patch did nothing about it. So it's staying on its old tier. Next up is Hawk. Hawk got a pretty needed buff, with a buff on M1 damage. But, I am sorry to burst your bubble for all the Hawk mains watching right now, but even with the damage increase, Hawk is still pretty weak. Don't get me wrong, a counter-type style with good block damage is very unique to say the least. Especially when you take into account that Hawk has anti-heal M1s, you might think Hawk is crazy good. But it really is not. That is just my opinion though. I know I'm repeating this again, but it's just that. The inability to backdash is such a bad gimmick, especially when most if not all styles in the game completely destroy Hawk's block. You are forced to eat a lot of damage if you miss backdash, and unlike someone like Freedom, who can literally backdash after they fail to sway back, Hawk simply cannot do that. So if they catch you lacking even once, you are cooked with Hawk. You can clearly see this happening a lot of times against something like Hitman, for example. For most people, in order to fight Hitman, you have to get away from Hitman's range. Because you obviously cannot outspeed the Hitman, regardless of the style you are using, and with Hitman's range, it's in your best interest to back away if you failed an attack. But Hawk again, cannot do that. So yeah, Hawk is still pretty weak in my opinion. If I were to rate it, I would put it around B tier honestly. Oh yeah, I mentioned Hitman right, I'm gonna move that style up to S just because of how annoying it is to fight against. And up last, Ghost. If you watched yesterday's video, I pretty much explained why this style is still pretty good. But in case you have not, I'll tell you a brief summary. Ghost Jab. That's it, this ability in itself is broken. There is just so many things you can do with the Ghost Jab. And coupled with the fact that he has a unique trait about him too, with his attacks having no highlights, which will make it harder to perfect dodge, no matter the skill level. Yeah, this style is busted. It literally has everything you'd want in a style. This is a no-brainer, easy S tier. And yeah, that is how I rated all the styles on Untitled Boxing Game. Do you agree with this list? If you don't, please tell me why in the comments section below. As always, if you enjoy daily Untitled Boxing Game content, feel free to subscribe. I upload once of these videos every day and you subscribing makes me closer to the 100,000 subscriber milestone. Anyways, that's all for me. See you guys on the next one. Peace.